To everybody in class, everybody online, we ask that y'all like, share, subscribe to the other channels. We have classes in Houston. We have classes in Rochester. So if you don't got those, you can check out the different classes. We have classes in San Antonio. Brothers are doing dynamic works, and the topics vary. We go through a lot of different topics. When you come to class, a lot of topics we talk about is things that are going to pertain to pushing you forward. A lot of knowledge classes, we've been over a lot of them. All right? So a lot of these knowledge classes we've been over. So don't feel bad to ask, because we done been over them so much. Kind of sometimes it slips our memory that, oh, we've been over them 1,000 times, but you've been over them twice. You've been over them twice. You've been over them once. So just ask your questions, because it's gonna help out everybody. And I'm saying that because I know y'all new. And a lot of these topics, you need to have evidence. The school is about praising the Most High. The school is about teaching, but you need the evidence. You need the information for your faith to be stable and to be sure. So don't feel bad to ask the question. Just ask them. You know what I mean? Does anybody got any questions tonight? Yeah, what you got, sis? The Matthews, right? Okay, we're going to touch on that. Before we go into that, reminder, we do have the feast day coming up, and it is on the 12th. So the feast day starts on the 12th. So let's remind everybody, we talked about what we're doing on that day, right? It seems like we're going to be feasting at the beach, down by the beach. Just a reminder to everybody online, it is going to be the Feast of Weeks, also known as, in the New Testament, it's called Pentecost, because it was 49 days, 50 days after the Passover, all right? So we're going to be celebrating that. Little did you know, when the New Testament came about, they were still keeping the laws of the scriptures. It wasn't like all of a sudden you read in there and it was they were celebrating Halloween. They were celebrating Christmas. You never read that. After Christ died and resurrected, you never read these things. And in the Bible, Easter is correctly translated Passover. The one time that word is put in the Bible, or a bad translation, right? Does anybody have any, do we got any announcements? We have anything that, I went through these. Does anybody got anything? Listen, we need somebody that's going to take over the media. We need a media department. And I'm not talking about, you do it once and then you disappear. I'm talking about, we need a media department that's going to do the editing for the YouTube channels, that's going to do the promotion for the Chosen Creations, for Sweet Ambiance, media-wise, right? Get on the internet, push it out there. We need somebody to do that. So we're going and asking in Houston, out here, and until somebody steps up in that slot, because there's so much stuff we're doing, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 people doing. We're taking on more jobs, and we need to spread these jobs. So we need serious brothers and sisters that's ready to do those things, and we can train you in them, and we just need you to move forward and take it over. All right. Support Israelware. The thumbnail is Israelware. We got a $5,000 printing machine, so the quality of our images is different. It's not the what was it at first?
Just regular vinyl.
Yeah, it's like regular. You transition from regular vinyl to print, and that's why the prints are better and things of that nature. So subscribe to Israelware, I mean, I know y'all didn't miss Ariel's headband.
Nah.
Bro, I still have a righteous envy for that.
That thing was nice.
Bruh,
Nice.
quality. I love that headband. And I love it so much, I told her she's going to have to make me a variation of that. So you see the quality that's put in, the time and spirit that's put into these things. Support, brothers and sisters. Zion's going to drop a class on, group economics. And, remember, we got to support each other. We got to support what we're doing. Everybody else does it. We got to support what we're doing and among us. You know what I mean? I want to say this. I want to thank brothers and sisters that have been supporting. Because y'all that have been giving, your households that have been giving, consistently, it helps with the things that we got to take care of in school. So we appreciate that. That was it. So, question. We have a question in Matthew's. We have a question in Matthew's 9 and 13.
Okay.
So let's go there real quick. Matthew's 9 and 13. Remember, it is the Sabbath day. This day, you young brothers and sisters that can't control themselves, you kids that sometimes you don't focus enough on the Most High. The Shabbat is for that. So you got to have in the back of your mind and your spirit reminding yourself that this is the Shabbat. Let's keep yourself locked into the spirit. And I know everybody's like, for us basically, we in class all day for the whole Shabbat. You know what I mean? Which is good. Which is no complaints there, but we got to keep in tune like that. So Matthew 9:13, let's read that.
Matthew chapter 9, verse 13. But go ye and learn what that meaneth. I will have mercy and not sacrifice.
Okay, let's read up so we can kind of get a little bit of context of what's going on here. We go over these topics, and yes, it is to get the knowledge of the Most High, but do not doubt at any point in time that this is not just about knowledge. So people misconstrue the spiritual part and how spiritual Israelites are. We're spiritual people. So you try to contrast Christianity to Hebrew Israelites, and sometimes you see misrepresentations, and it's just knowledge. It is about the knowledge, because the knowledge is going to open our eyes to all the lies. But there's a spirituality, a door behind that is very close knit. So don't forget that. So read that.
Okay, which verse?
Jump up to verse 10.
Okay.
Wait, this is Matthew what?
Matthew chapter 9.
Right, jump up to verse 10.
Okay. Matthew chapter 9, verse 10. And it came to pass, as Yahushua sat at meat in the house, behold, many publicans and sinners came and sat down with him and his disciples. And when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto his disciples.
Okay, so, and we're going to probably touch on it a little bit tonight, depending on what questions we have. But the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the scribes, these were different sects, right, of Israel. The Pharisees and the Sadducees, these were Levites, right? This was Levitical priesthood. The scribes were Israelites. These are Levites, right? So you got these different sects, but when you go into the Pharisees and what they believed in, and the scribes, how technical they were, and the Sadducees, what they believed in, you start to see that Yahushua was rectifying what's the word? I'm not even going to use over righteous. I'm going to use the word that Yahushua used, hypocritical. Hypocritical mindset. Okay? So when it came to the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the scribes, there was a lot of hypocrisy. All that writing you're doing and you don't get it in your damn head, right? You sitting there literally rewriting copying the law, and none of it is reaching your mind, the spirituality. And that's the problem with these people. Go ahead.
And when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto his disciples,
Right.
Why eateth your master with publicans and sinners?
Right, and they did that a lot, right? Why they don't washing their hands out? Right? Why y'all doing stuff on the Sabbath? Right? Why this, why that? So Yahushua had to come through and do what? He had to correctly align them what the law was teaching and what they didn't understand. So at this point it's the what? Read it again.
God. And when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto his disciples, Why eateth your master with publicans and sinners?
Why are you sitting down with publicans and sinners, right? The regular folk, right? The cats that are dirty or you deem dirty, right? Basically us. Right? And you do still sit down with some people. Remember, we ain't sitting there inhaling the blunt smoke, but when you out in the streets and you sat in the gym the other day, and the brother, it wasn't like, hey, why you dealing with this wicked brother? You know?
Where his friends is at, right?
Yeah, where his friends is at. You know, we don't do that. He was there teaching them, giving them wisdom. Right? And not judging that, he doesn't know this or that. I mean, what's the point of that anyway? It's obvious he don't know. Right? So, a lot of times, we're going to sit down with publicans and sinners to get the word across. I'm not saying you're unequally yoked. Remember, this ain't, I'm going to Christmas dinner with them. Nobody wants to hear you at Christmas dinner talk about Christmas is off. Right? So then why are you like, I'm sitting with them to teach them. That's not what's going on there, bro. You're going to that. They're not looking at it like that. You know why I gotta edify on that point? Because what Yahushua was doing was teaching them. He wasn't sitting there, right, next to pulling up on the block with them while they selling dope. You know what I mean? And just chilling with them.
Yeah, he wasn't gang affiliated.
Right. He
claiming is set.
Yeah, like, you know what? For me to really understand them, when they in the car for the Judas drive-by, I gotta be there with them, like, yeah, you know what I mean? I'm real too, like you. Nah, that's wicked. The Most High said, sit not with the sinner or the scornful. So what Christ was doing there was, he was teaching them, right? He was politicking with them. He was trying to reach them. Right? Go ahead.
But when Yahushua heard that,
right,
he said unto them, They that be whole need not a physician.
Right. And that right there is it was said in a double entendre way. Because the truth is that who is not whole? Who is not whole? Who does not need a physician? It said the whole head is sick. Right? So all Israel was sick. But what he was showing them is, according to what you feel, you think you're good. So what I'm doing is not a treasure to you. Right? It's not a value to you. So you don't need a physician, right? You already know, right? You don't need it, right? And that's what he was dealing with the Pharisees and the Sadducees, people that thought they knew, know-it-alls, right?
God.
But they didn't. As much as they know the Bible, they didn't know. And like I said, this is kind of what her question literally didn't have nothing to do with my topic. Our topic we talked about weeks back, but it happened to be somewhat of the same. A little bit of somewhat. Go ahead.
God. They that be whole need not a physician.
Go ahead.
But they that are sick.
Go ahead.
But go ye and learn what that meaneth.
Now, if you would know what I mean by that, if you really understood what I meant by that, go ahead.
I will have mercy and not sacrifice.
Right.
For I am not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance.
Right. So you're judging me on giving mercy. And you don't even know that. Like, I'm here trying to show these people mercy, and you don't even understand that. If you knew what was going on, you would have known what this parable meant. So what are they quoting? Let's go there real quick. What is Yahushua quoting? Go there. Go to Hosea 6. Hosea 6 and 6. We're going to jump over to Psalms 51.
God.
So just to show you what he was quoting, because Yahushua was coming from the book. He said, Lord, I come through the volume of the book. So when he was speaking, like Paul did a lot, he was speaking from the Old Testament, right? And giving the understanding, making the sense of it. Go ahead.
Hosea chapter 6 verse 6.
Go ahead.
For I desired mercy,
right,
and not sacrifice.
Right. Why? Why? Because truthfully, what is the Most High looking at? Is he looking at your sacrifice of animals?
Nah.
Right? Is he looking at you? You come and giving your alms when you really don't want to give them, or you giving your cattle when you really don't want to give it. You going through the mercy. You going through the robotics of it. He's not looking at that. So what does Israel really need? They need mercy.
Yep.
They need a chance, right? And that's what Yahushua was showing them. Like, if you would have knew what this parable meant, you would have understood that the people need the mercy. Because I'm not looking at the animals that they're getting. Why? Hold that. Go to Isaiah. Hold that. We're going to go to Psalms, but let's go to Isaiah 1 and 11. Read that.
Isaiah chapter 1 verse 11.
Go ahead. I mean, y'all with me so far, right? All right. I'm trying not to talk too fast, but make sure that I'm clear. Remember, Yahushua quoted a parable, or a scripture that was in the Old Testament, Hosea, Psalms, and Samuel, right? He quoted something to get to them, for them to understand that they didn't know what the hell he was talking about.
Right.
That's the truth of it. You don't know what you're talking about. You're over here judging me on me sitting with the people, the sick, but the Most High wants us to give the mercy. Right? Go ahead, read that.
Isaiah chapter 1 verse 11. To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me?
Right? So this is why this was said by more than one prophet. He's like, what's your sacrifice? Your animals, the things you're giving. What's the purpose of that? Right? Go ahead.
Saith the Most High.
Go ahead.
I am full of burnt offerings.
Yeah, man. Enough's enough. I got a lot of burnt offering. I got a lot of cattle. Right? Go ahead.
Of rams.
Read.
And the fat of fed beasts.
Go ahead.
And I delight not in the blood of bullocks.
Right. I don't delight in these things. The other scripture says that the hills are mine in Psalms. You know what I mean? It's not like you feed in the Most High. It's not like the Most High is coming down and eating this. We know, us that have the knowledge know that he wanted you to go through this ceremony of giving because he wanted to see you lose. He wanted to see how much you were going to give up. He wanted to see if you were going to support your brother, your sister, your nation. Because that's what it was about, the sacrifice. He wanted to see if you were obedient. It wasn't about like he was sitting up there, you chopping it up, the animal, and he's like sitting up there eating the pieces. No, the priest was eating the pieces, right? And that's what he wanted. He wanted his priest to be taken care of. He wanted the service of the priesthood to be, they were showing us how to praise the Most High and how to do his office. He wanted to see that. And in that, you had to give up to facilitate that, right? Go ahead.
Or of lambs, or of he-goats.
Right. I got the he-goats, I got the lambs, I got all this, right? Go ahead.
When ye come to appear before me,
right?
Who have required this at your hand.
Yeah, when you come to the Most High and you do what? You give these things. And that was the process now and in the Old Testament. Now it might not be cattle, but you're still doing what? You're giving your prayer when you drop to your knees. You do give, or where it says when you you give your brother a jacket, you feed them, you clothe them, you visited them in prison. That's all the sacrifice. It says in Romans 12:1 that you present your body a living sacrifice. So you're still doing this, right? No doubt. Go ahead.
To tread my courts.
Right, go ahead.
Bring no more vain oblations.
Right, so why was it vain? Damn, so what you're saying, what I'm doing is not enough? No, because it wasn't coming in the right way. So that didn't matter. The animals didn't matter. What did Israel need at this time? Mercy. You know what I mean? They've been giving all the animals and alms and tithes. That's why Christ said, if you would have judged me correctly, you would have understood that I'm giving them mercy. Right? I'm giving them a chance. Right? Because they're doing all the other stuff. Everybody's giving their alms, their tithes, their cumin, their niece. Right? But what these cats need is what? Mercy to know the proper way how to come to the Father. And that's what Yahweh Shai is doing. So he was checking the Pharisees and then reminding us, look, if you're giving these things or doing your alms or doing all these things, are you giving them the right way? So Isaiah does what? He reminds us what? That the Most High wasn't even looking at that. Because it wasn't done correctly. You weren't doing it wholeheartedly unto the Lord.
Yeah, what was your intentions?
Right. What was your conscience behind it? Right? Go ahead.
Incense is an abomination unto me.
Wait, but I thought we were supposed to burn the incense to Yahweh. He's like, bruh, the incense you burning is your children's on the damn hills. Right? If you remember Isaiah, and as we're reading and going into Kings and Chronicles, it says Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah. Bruh, all litty kings, wicked kings. At some point they went off. Right? So Isaiah was like, look, all this doesn't matter because y'all are not doing it in the spirit of the Most High. It's not sincere. It's robotic. Right? And that's what the Pharisees and the Sadducees were doing all the time. Right? They were robots. And we'll touch on that. I don't want to jump in. Go ahead.
The new moons and Sabbaths.
Yeah, the new moons and the Shabbat. That's what Israel don't understand. We got all these things we're supposed to follow, the customs. But it's supposed to be followed, not with the old leaven of malice and wickedness. Not with you're a robot. Well, why do you do it? You don't really understand what you're doing, why you're doing it. You hear me say it all the time. You're in a cult. Why? Because if you don't serve the Most High with a true heart, and you're just being robotic, then why are you doing it? No, really, why are you doing it then? Well, like the Pharisees and Sadducees, you find out you're doing it to men, please. You're to be seen of men. That's why you're doing it. We're going to jump back on that point. Go ahead.
The calling of assemblies.
Right.
I cannot away with.
Yeah, I what?
I cannot away with.
Right. I cannot away with. What verse are you at?
Verse 13.
Uh-huh.
It is iniquity.
Right. The new moons and Sabbaths and the calling of assembly, I cannot away with. Right. Yeah. Like, away with this. I don't need this. I don't want to hear none of this. Right. Go ahead.
It is iniquity.
It is what?
It is iniquity.
Go ahead.
Even the solemn meeting.
Go ahead.
Your new moons.
Right.
Your appointed feasts.
Read.
My soul hated.
Right. Go ahead.
They are a trouble unto me.
Why?
I am weary to bear them.
Why? Because it wasn't sincere.
Right. Gotta see that.
So what? You keeping the law.
Right. Right.
But if it ain't in the spirit of the Most High, if it ain't mingled with the spirit, and you're just going through the motions, not really embodying the meaning of these things, then what's the point of it? Every Passover, we got to get together. Like you're thinking about the burden of it. You're not thinking about the spirit of it. You know what I mean? Like think about this. And I'm using the Passover. But we could use any feast days. It said new moon feast days or whatever, right? Think about how brothers go about it. Sisters go about it. Is it a burden to you? And I'm not judging your conscience. Y'all do it. right? Everybody here gets together, we all do it.
Con.
But which one is it? Which one of us is doing it? And in the back of your mind, like, we gotta cook again. We gotta come up with this again. See, you ain't doing it in the spirit of the Most High. So think about it. When you do that, why are you doing it? You men pleasing, right? Go ahead, read.
And when you spread forth your hands,
Right?
I will hide mine.
Yeah, you what? You praying and the Most High is like, man, I ain't hearing you. It's all fake.
That's sincere.
You're not sincere. So now we're understanding. Let's jump back to Matthew. And you can read down in there. I wanted to show you why Hosea, Isaiah, Samuel, many other prophets said this, right? David, right? Go ahead, jump back to the Matthews. Let's reiterate that, and then we're going to jump back. Go ahead.
Matthew 9 and verse 13.
Go ahead.
But go ye and learn what that meaneth.
Go ahead.
I will have mercy and not sacrifice. For I am not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance.
Right. So that sacrifice didn't mean anything. What he was doing, his job was to do what? Show them the mercy on how to really come to the Father. Y'all get that? So that's why he made this statement. Right? Go to Psalms 51 and 16.
Psalms of the 51 verse 16.
And then Micah 6. Go ahead.
For thou desirest not sacrifice, else would I give it.
But y'all got to understand, David, how many sacrifices did he give? Solomon, how many sacrifices? It said, going into that Chronicles, I know I'm jumping way ahead here, y'all. But when you go into the Chronicles, it said he sacrificed like, how many?
40,000.
Like, yeah, like before he said the prayer to the Father, he sacrificed all kind of animals. But then in the end, what did Solomon do? You see? So if you're not embodying what the work is, the truth is, then what? If you're not embodying this and there's not a spiritual connection between you and the spirit of the Most High and the work and the will, then really what are you doing it for? You see? And that's what the Pharisees didn't have. So they were always checking that. David saying it while giving it. You don't need this. It's not like you coming out eating this meat. Go ahead.
Thou lightest not in burnt offerings.
Go ahead.
The sacrifices of the Most High are a broken spirit.
Right.
A broken and contrite heart.
And those people that were sitting with Christ, he told us before. He says, he that hath much sin, right? They're forgiven much. They're really ready to do what? Repent more.
Yeah, that word contrite, feeling or expression, remorse, penitence affected by guilt.
Check that out. So the Pharisees, they're not getting this. Why? Why? Because the Pharisees and the Sadducees, they were technical. I have the knowledge. That makes me chosen. No, it don't. Ye of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. So they never got that. Go ahead, read.
A broken and contrite heart.
So he wants a contrite heart, a spirit the conscious where it's hurt, the godly sorrow to where you know what you did wrong and you really feel bad about it. The Pharisees were like, no, I got the knowledge. That makes me right. They ain't fulfilling nothing else but what? I got knowledge. See, go ahead.
O Yahweh, thou wilt not despise.
Right. The Most High, he was reminding us, the Most High won't despise those individuals. Now, Yahweh Shai was sitting with them because he was showing us what? The Most High don't despise these cats coming with a true heart. If you knew what I was doing, I was giving them mercy. Right? Because the Most High ain't with the sacrifice. He ain't hearing all of that, what you guys are giving, because it ain't sincere in the spirit of the Most High. Y'all get this? Everybody, we on the same page? Seriously? Yeah? Okay. Go to Micah 6 and 6 to 8, and then we're in that question and jump into this class.
Micah chapter 6, verse 6.
Elashabara, is this making sense? Yeah? All right, I want you to think about it, and if I ask you about it, then you got to be able to at least explain it. So remember, it's simple. The Pharisees come to check Christ. Christ is doing what the Most High said, showing the people the mercy, right? Because all the other antics of them giving, they don't even know how to really give. Remember, the law's not, Isaiah wasn't saying don't give. David was still giving the sacrifice. But he was saying what? This doesn't mean nothing unless I come with a real humble, meek, repentant, regretful mind. Otherwise, I'm just going through the motions. Y'all get that? Go ahead.
Micah chapter 6, verse 6. Wherewith shall I come before the Most High?
Go ahead.
And bow myself before the high God.
Right.
Shall I come before him with burnt offerings?
Right.
With calves of a year old.
Right. You see how all these prophets knew this? While giving it, while doing the law, while keeping the laws and commandments. Well, the difference between them is they really understood this. Well, when you come to the future, the New Testament, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, they didn't get it. They didn't get it. They were way off. Go ahead.
Will the Most High be pleased with thousands of rams?
Right.
Or with 10,000s of rivers of oil?
Right. Yeah. I got all the holy, you know what I mean, holy oils. You know what I mean? You getting like you get anointed and the oils is burning your eyes. Man, look at him. It's running down his beard. But what you asking for? You know what I mean? What are you getting anointed for? What's the anointing? What is it for? When Yahushua was anointed, it was like, yeah, he was anointed because he wanted to be fresh from foot down all the way up. Like, what was the point of the spiritual power? It's like this. Who wants X-Men and Marvel powers? Okay. Well, what would you do with it? Right? Everybody wants it, and then when you sit back and think and you start going through the logic of what would you do with it, then it's like, well, damn, now I know why the Most High don't increase me like that. Because the first one you want to get is what? The first thing you want to do is not show mercy. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about Esau, I'm talking about your brother. We know what Esau and the nations are going to get. But you think, no, it's for the nations. I just want to shoot somebody and cut them in half with my eye. Bro, it'd be your brother, it'd be your rib, it'd be your husband the first thing. You get angry out of nowhere and just do like Cyclops. Cut them out. I didn't mean to do it.
See what you made me do.
Chop him in half. You're right? Most times like, nah, you don't need that power, right? Go ahead.
Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression?
Yeah, that's how Israel act. You know, I'll do everything. I'll give. What you gonna do? I'll die for the truth. Huh? Who's the power? Yahweh. Who's the power? Yahweh. Right? He's so much the power. When it comes to the littlest things, you won't even do it. It's like, well, he's the power, but after this. It's like, oh, okay. He's the power when you need something, but when it's time for you to do the will, it's what? But I got a schedule. Yahweh's the power, but he's the power from 8 to 10. You know what I mean? Go ahead, read on.
The fruit of my body for the sin of my soul.
Go ahead.
He has showed thee, O man, what is good.
Right.
What doeth the Most High require of thee?
Go ahead.
But to do justly.
Right.
And to love mercy.
Read.
And to walk humbly with thy power.
Okay, so let's go back to what Yahushua quoted. He was literally quoting a few prophets. Right? Because they all said the same thing, basically. right? And what he was telling them, if you could control your damn mouth, you would have knew I'm giving these people mercy. But you don't understand that because all you want is what? No, say it. What does the verse say? All they wanted was what? All they wanted was what? What did the priests want? What did these Pharisees want? What?
Signs.
No, what did, come on, let's go to the verse. Remember the verse. Don't think about me, think about the verse. What the verse say? They wanted what? Sacrifice. Bro, where's those alms at? Where's this at? Where's that at? Yeah, but come on. But the Most High wants me to give them mercy. Let me do what I'm supposed to be doing. And anyway, when they're given all these things, how is it benefiting them? Because they don't even know how to do it in the right spirit. Y'all see that? Okay, all right, so does that answer? Okay, all right, let's jump into this topic. Did you have any questions on anything? Not right now? All right, so we're going to jump into this topic tonight. I don't know, what I label class? I forgot what I labeled it.
Like shoot before you speech or something?
Nah, I needed something else on there. But today we're going to talk about a novice. What? Oh, there's a question online? Go ahead. What is it? I can't hear you, Al.
She said, Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23.
Go ahead, let's go there. Proverbs 4 and 23. Proverbs 4 and 23, and we'll jump into this topic about a novice. Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23.
Go ahead.
Keep thine heart with all diligence.
Right?
For out of it are the issues of life.
Uh-huh.
And that was, she asked how, she said, why would keeping thy heart with all diligence have issues of life?
Oh, all right. Well, the good thing is, I love this chapter. I know a lot of you are familiar with it. Let's go up, though. The way you're going to get the understanding is go up. See? Go to... This is what I want you to do. Start at verse 20. Go ahead.
Verse 20. My son, attend to my words. Incline thine ear unto my sayings.
So, this is the answer. What is... Remember, we know the heart is deceitful and desperately wicked above all things. So what was the wisdom, that we were supposed to be getting? It wasn't like, yeah, stay in your heart. You know your heart, it issues life. Nah, that's not what's going on here. What it was saying is the man, the woman, the Israelite that's locked into the spirit of the Most High. And out of your belly there flows rivers of living water. Stick to that. Stick to that. Because those things that come out of you, that's what the Most High is wanting. Right? We're not talking about a person that's off in their own mind. And I'm going to show you. We're going to jump through this. Jump back forward a little bit. Go ahead.
Verse 21. Let them not depart from thine eyes.
Let what? Let what? Verse 20. Read it again.
My son, attend to my words. Incline thine ear unto my sayings.
Right. What are the sayings? Jump to verse 4.
Verse 4.
Go ahead.
He taught me also, and said unto me,
Uh-huh.
let thine heart retain my words.
Read.
Keep my commandments and live.
Right. So what is the things that's going to keep us to life? When we're locked into the spirit of the Most High, the things that come from us, that's going to be life. Right? Those things that issue from our mind and our spirit, that's life. This is why you can't be double-minded. Because when you're double-minded, you're going to abandon the wisdom, the spirit, the heart, or the mind of the Most High, right? Go ahead.
Get wisdom.
Read.
Get understanding.
Read.
Forget it not.
Read.
Neither decline from the words of my mouth.
Right. So remember, you got to, a lot of the understanding comes in the context of the chapter, right? This is all about wisdom and guiding yourself in the wisdom of the Most High and following the commandments of the Most High, right? Jump to, let me show you. Jump to verse 14.
Verse 14. Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men.
So it's not saying, hey, let your wicked mind guide you. No, it's saying if your mind is in the spirit of the Most High, then your mind is going to be right. I should have jumped to verse 10 first. Jump to verse 10.
Verse 10. Hear, O my son, and receive my saying, and the years of thy life shall be many.
Go ahead.
I have taught thee in the way of wisdom.
Go ahead.
I have led thee in the right path.
Go ahead.
When thou goest, thy steps shall not be strained.
Why?
And when thou runnest.
Why? Because the wisdom of the Most High is not going to have your knees to buckle. Right? If imagine you walking and your legs straightened. You're going to fall on your damn face, right? Pow! He said, but when you're in the spirit and you're walking, nah, you're going to have agility, right? Your feet are not going to make the wrong moves, right? Go ahead.
And when thou runnest, thou shalt not stumble.
Nah, you running like those cats on the football court. In the football field, like going backwards, right? Why? And because the Most High got your steps. Wisdom got your steps. So now y'all getting the context of what's going on here? Con? Y'all with me? Okay. So that's what's going on here. Reminding us, Israel, to be men of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And we know this all goes back to what? For the new bro. This goes back to what? Come on. What is the wisdom? It's also known as what? Come on, say it. Huh?
Proper application.
No. The wisdom also goes back to what? The Holy Spirit, right? So when you got the Holy Spirit on you, you're walking in the wisdom of the Father, right? Okay. And when you walk in the wisdom of the Father, your steps are not going to be straightened. You're going to be agile, being able to move, because that's what Wisdom of Solomon 7:22 says, right? Wisdom is manifold. I'm able to move in a certain way and adapt to my environment in righteousness. Y'all got that? Okay. Read on.
Take fast hold of instruction. Let her not go.
Right.
Keep her, for she is thy light.
Right. Her, remember, wisdom, right? Go ahead.
Enter not into the path of the wicked.
Go ahead.
And go not in the way of evil men.
Right.
Avoid it. Pass not by it.
Okay. And all right. So now that we got the gist of it, jump back down to verse 20.
Verse 20. My son, attend to my words. Incline thine ear unto my saying.
Go ahead.
Let them not depart from thine eye.
Go ahead.
Keep them in the midst of thine heart.
See? So what are we talking about? We're talking about the Holy Spirit being in your mind. That's supposed to be, see, when it says in the midst of your heart, that's where they get the third eye from. Right? He said, if thy eye be single, that's talking about your mind's eye. Right? If it be single on the spirit, then it's not what? Double-minded. You're jumping back and forth. You're unsure. Your feet will not be straightened. Right? Go ahead.
For they are light unto those that find them.
Okay, so now it makes more sense when we jump back up, right? The context of the chapter will give these verses in the understanding and the substance. Go ahead.
And help to all their flesh.
And help to all their flesh. Go ahead.
Keep thy heart with all diligence.
See? Why? Stay diligent in that with the spiritual mind. With your spiritual mind's eye. Stay diligent with that. Don't let things sway you. Right? And that's what we talk about all the time. Double-minded brothers and sisters that's unsure. That little things shake them, rattle them. Right? Speak for yourself, right? You get in that mode of like, I don't want to do this no more. Do what? You literally are born for this. There ain't no escaping Yahweh. There's no escaping Yahweh. There's escaping your brother helping you be accountable. You can run from that, but then he still gets you with the beast. He's like, okay, you don't want your brother to be your brother's keeper. I'll go ahead and send Cain too. You know what I mean? And then he what? The white man puts you in check. Go ahead.
For out of it are the issues of life.
See? So we get it. When you lock into the spirit of the Most High and you keep that mind's eye, out of that is the issues of life, which is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High. Go ahead.
Put away from thee a forward mouth.
Right. All right. So, was that it on that? Okay, that was it? No more other questions? All right, so this topic is about the novice. All right, go look up the definition of the novice. Somebody go to 1 Timothy's, which we always know about. We always know about this, but I want to touch on a certain point in here to remind us how do we not fall to this mind state? Okay, so read that 1 Timothy 3 verse 1. We're just going to run through it.
God. 1 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1.
Go ahead.
This is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth a good work.
So what are you chose for? What did the Most High say you're chosen as a Hebrew Israelite to be? A nation of what?
Kings and priests.
So you're a priest from the womb, right? I didn't call you. The Most High already called you. All you're doing now is going through the proper way and learning what your calling is, the details of it, right? Because a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people know they're Israelites, but they don't understand how to really go about to fulfill their calling, right? So when you come in, the more and more you're learning that, damn, this is what the Most High called me to be, is a priest, a bishop, a king to the nations, right? Go ahead.
A bishop then must be blameless.
Right, so it goes through the qualifications. Like it goes through and I know y'all know this, I'm doing it for the new brother, but it goes through the list of things, the checklist that you were supposed to be looking at. Because if not, you're going to be a Hezekiah, Azariah, Ahab, right? You're going to be these different kings that were what? Jeroboam, Rehoboam. You're going to be a Saul, right? You're going to be a wicked king. So when you go through the list, you got to go through these checklists and make sure you're accountable to Yahweh. He said it. He said, you're a king. He said, you're a priest. And then he said what? These are the qualifications. We didn't make this up, right? Go ahead.
The husband of one wife.
Right, okay, forget about Solomon had 1,000 wives. Brother, could you deal with your one wife, right? Could you deal with one woman? Go ahead.
Vigilant.
Right, are you vigilant and aware, self-aware, right? So, you're a king, but you're not aware of your environment. You don't know who you're around. You don't know what you're saying. You just say things and blur things out. Like, are you vigilant? Go ahead.
Sober.
Right. Are you, once again, sober-minded? Are you conscious of what your duties are? Right? So this is the bishop. Go ahead.
Of good behavior.
Right. Do you have that instilled in you where when you think of a king, when you think of a priest, are you well-behaved or are you a damn brute? You don't know how you're going to look when you do certain things, or really you don't care. Right? So remember the qualifications, right? Go ahead.
Given to hospitality.
Right. Are you hospitable? Sometimes Israelite is synonymous with jerks. You know what I mean? Nah. A priest is hospitable. A king is hospitable. When he invited, what's her name? Queen Sheba. Right? He's like, hey, let me show you the place. He didn't say, nah, stand there by the door, nigga. I don't know you. You damn dusty ass people. You disgusting ass big head. You big head ass Ethiopian heathen. He said, come on in, let me show you. Let me show you how we get down as Hebrew Israelites. Right? Let me show you how prestige and our stature and our quality and, you know what I mean, what type of kings we are, right?
God.
So this is it's no different as you look through the gospel. Go ahead.
Apt to teach.
Right. If you're not ready to teach your rib and you're already argumentative and you can't, I don't got the patience. I just don't got the patience with her ass. You're not apt to teach. You can't take the time from the video game to teach your kids. You're not apt to teach. But no, I'm apt to teach y'all. Only when we yell at white people on the corners. Something wrong there. There's something wrong there. Because it starts in your house. You got to be ready to teach at all times. Go ahead.
Not given to wine.
Can't be a drunk. Can't be a pill popper. Can't be a weed head. You can't do these things and say, oh, I believe in the Most High. He's my strength, my shield, my buckler, right? Go ahead.
No striker.
Well, you know how to knock him out. You're not C-Rag anymore.
C-Rag.
That was my cousin's crip name. You're not C-Rag no more. You know what I mean? You're not a little Tucci no more, right? Not a little taint. Go ahead.
Not greedy of filthy lucre.
You can't be motivated by what?
Filthy lucre.
Money and carnal possessions. Because as we see, first of all, the priests were subject to the nation. And you see the nation. Go ahead.
But patient.
But patient, right? So once again, I know y'all been over this 100,000 times. The qualifications of a bishop. Go ahead.
Not a brawler.
Right, not a brawler. Once again, not a striker, and not what? A person that's ready to brawl, fight. Everything is like, I'm waiting to jump off. You know what I mean? Because I got the 45 in the vest. You know what I mean? I got the yopper in the trunk. No, that's not my purpose, what I'm doing here. Go ahead.
Not covetous.
Right, not covetousness. If you got always, you look at that REI headband and you're like, why he got that headband?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. You don't deserve that. You're like, bro, that's really nice, huh? And you you sick in the stomach because he got it.
Damn.
Like you're not a priest until you let go of all these things. You can't be envious of other people and all the things that they have because you a lowly priest. That's what they got. The Most High didn't give it to you, maybe because there's something in you.
Right.
Or maybe he just wants to keep you on that certain line, right? So you can't have these spirits on you, these thoughts in you, and then say, yeah, I'm a bishop. No, you can't do it. So those are the qualifications. Go ahead.
One that ruleth well his own house.
I mean, yo, we've been over this a million times. If you don't know how to change your sheets, wash your socks, right? You got to be like a 15-year-old boy and be reminded, we got to do the dishes. It's nasty in here, The Hebrew Israelites were clean. 30 years old. Why the hell I got to tell you to wash dishes, make sure the house is clean, and make sure you do groceries? Why? Because it's not important for you to be the priest and the king. You don't want it. You know what I mean? You like one of those white movies to where the king's like, you know what? I want to go be a commoner. And I want to go fall in love with an average hoe, right? That's what type of cat you are. Everybody else is like, no. You know what I mean? You know how they sit them at the table and teach them how to eat with their salad fork, steak knife. All you're just like, why I got so many forks, right? Well, once for this, once for right. Well, that's what we're learning. We're learning how to be prestige because we're what?
Kings and priests.
No, we're thugs. You're like, fork? Nigga, I ate with my hand. Like, what are you talking about? Sure they want to be a thug, right? That's what we came up. So how many of us really knew what it meant to be prestige? Noble. All right. Bruh, the scripture said you're a beast, huh? And we all are. But the Most High is doing what? He's cleaning us up and showing us the way to be these noble men, noble women, right? It starts in your house. Go ahead.
Having his children in subjection.
Read.
With all gravity.
Right.
For if a man know not how to rule his own house,
right?
How shall he take care of the church of the Most High?
If you don't know these things, then you can't take care of the church. Go ahead.
Not a novice.
No, so that's the point I wanted to get to. Not a novice. So I want y'all to think. Don't make me just do all that dissertation and then act like you don't know what the hell I just said. What made you a novice at this point? So I'm gonna let you think on that while I read this, and then y'all gonna come back to you and ask you. So don't sit there and not think of anything the whole time that I'm reading this. That question is, what will make you a novice? All right, I'm gonna read what a novice is. A novice, a person new or inexperienced in a field or situation. Beginner, learner, inexperienced, neophyte, newcomer, new member. We read what we read, now we read the definition. What makes you a novice? Yeah. Go ahead, shut him up.
A novice, well, what makes you a novice is you not having a proper understanding at the time because you're coming in new.
Stop. All right, I'm gonna repeat it to y'all again. This is what train of thought I want y'all. According to what we just read in Timothy 3:1, all the way down. Let's try it again. What will make you a novice? I want the lingo of what we just read. What will make you a novice? Let's try it again. What will make you a novice?
One that doesn't have his household or his job of what he does in subjection.
There you go. Now add to it somebody. He started it, but he didn't finish it. One that will not have their household in subjection, but you want to finish it now? Because we're not going to really understand what a novice is and what and how not to be. Because this is the warning. The warning is what?
Not a novice, least being lifted up with pride, he fall into the condemnation of the devil.
So, did we read about you had to have Daniel's breakdown? And then you're not a novice. Did we just read that? Did we read about because you know the circle of the earth, you're no longer a novice? Did we read that? All right, see, it's easy not to put words in the book. Just let's what the book say. Show me when you got the Daniel's breakdown. You came to the school knowing Christ is black. You already knew dark sayings. Show me in here where knowing the dark sayings doesn't make you a novice. So what makes you a novice? What makes you a novice? What? Lakai, go ahead.
A novice is when you're put in position and you're not fulfilling these slots that the Lord requires.
You're right, but you're speaking vague. Let's get more direct. No. Hold on, Aaron. I don't want a verse. I got the verses.
Show us what it looks like.
Yeah, I want you to explain the verse. We're reading the verse, but do we understand it? That's what I don't want to jump first. I want to see if everybody understands this. Right? What? Go ahead. Go ahead, sis. You were going to say something. I'll come back to you, Lakai. What?
Somebody who's
You got to talk a little louder.
somebody who's not sober.
So, okay, but see, y'all almost you're there, but you're not answering. Oh, hold on, Lasha Bar, and then I'll come back to you, Lakai. Lasha Bar.
I was gonna say.
Talk loud, sis.
I was gonna say they're given all of these positions, but they're not motivated to take their time to do what is required to teach or be that person.
You're almost there. You're almost there. It's so simple too. What? Go ahead, Lakai.
You want a scenario?
I want a scenario. Go ahead. Put it in the scenario.
Well, you got a brother put in position. Say he's like he's officer of 5,000, right? And he has He's a peacemaker. He's a great orator at being a peacemaker, but he's knocking cats out when he gets the opportunity.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
What makes you a novice, though?
Because he's in that position, but he's not fulfilling.
Okay,
that.
I'll give y'all a little hint. We were just talking about it before we even started class. What?
Not practicing what you preach.
There you go. That makes you a novice. What? It says, read on.
Not-
Being a what?
Least being a novice. Least being lifted up with pride.
Now, we got another variable there. What happens to these new people? Let's listen to the verse. What happens to the new people? Right? When you got knowledge, but you don't got action. Say it.
Would you be like hypocritical?
They what? Say it.
They're going to be lifted up in pride.
Say it.
Entitled.
They're going to be lifted up with pride. Based on what? Based on knowledge. So, how many of you were ever a novice? I was, not me. I was never a novice. Listen, I came to the truth fucking knowing. Excuse my language. You know what I mean? That break out? We got this shit already. Next. That's the novice lifted up in pride. Because a novice is someone that literally don't even know how to function and do it. But because they got knowledge, they think, oh, I'm good. Remember I said earlier, the problem with the Pharisees? The problem with the Pharisees was that they had the knowledge. It's like, it's basically it's like this, y'all. And y'all said it earlier. I'm looking at the list here, and I'm a drunk, and every night I go home, right? And I'm calling myself the priest, and I'm going home every night drinking, right? Or a brawler, or doing these things, and come back and try to teach you. Why? How could you stomach to do that? Unless it's pride. Right? And that's what we got a lot of. This is, the point of this topic is for what? Read on. Least what?
Least being lifted up with pride.
Right.
He fall into the condemnation of the devil.
I'm trying to show y'all so you won't fall into condemnation of the devil. We're going over this topic because we're like, brothers and sisters don't really understand that. It's not about knowledge, it's about action. It's not about knowing the Bible. Right? You want to argue with me about verse on verse, but you're still a drunk. Right? You don't got no patience. You don't got no kindness. You don't know how to speak to the people. You're a brawler. Right? Like, why would I get in a conversation with you and think there's even a point there? Why? Because you know something? Because we could talk about a topic. That doesn't give you the right. What gives you the right is doing what Christ said, not speaking it. All right, if I'm lying, then the church has got the truth then. Because they know a lot of the Bible. So what's supposed to separate us from that? Being doers of the word. What you was going to say?
Precept for what you're talking about.
All right, go ahead, drop the precept. Let's see what you got. You're going to take me off track, but go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 37, verse 19.
Go ahead.
There is one that is wise and teaches many, and yet is unprofitable to himself.
And we went over that the other day. Perfect.
God.
There's no benefit. So think about it. If we're looking at you to be an officer, what's the benefit of you being an officer and you coming up and we saying, hey, teach this class on guiding your household, but you don't know how to guide your household? Is it because you're a Hebrew Israelite and the Most High endued you to be a king or priest that you got the right to teach it? When is the right there to really, according to the Bible, for you to say to yourself, man, you know what? I'm on the right track at least. When is that right there? I'm asking, when is it?
When you perform the action.
When you perform the action. But is it really, is that what's really in brothers and sisters' mind? Really, what's in their mind? I'll tell you. Read that last verse again.
God. Not a novice.
Not a what?
Not a novice.
Not a what?
Novice.
You know what's the problem? Is that you don't know nothing that you ought to know. And you're like, oh, but I got this breakdown. I can argue with you on that. First of all, you got the breakdown. That's easy. That's easy, huh? That's repetition. Oh, you're like, some brothers are, I'm not taking a shot at you brothers that are studious. But like Tahawam, man, that cat, college, you know, went to college and all that, and he had, you know what I mean? He studious. He can process this. Like the test, like the officer soldier says, you know how some brothers is like, man, I just can't get my mind into that. You know, it's harder for some of us dummies, right? You know, remember I'm a D&F student, so I'm talking to myself. I wasn't, you know, college bound and all that. So it was hard for me, but it was the love and the repetition that got me to overcome it. Some cats, that's easy. Like, I could do this with my eyes closed and get 100. You know what I mean? See, but does that make you a teacher?
Wow.
And that makes another brother less of a teacher because he can't wrap his head around it? You can have the one that's studious and that can pick up things on it, but morally is immoral. Right? What?
Is that kind of like being like how you say, like in the world, like you're book smart but not street smart at the same time?
Say that one more time.
Is it like saying that people that are book smart but they're not street smart?
No. We're not talking about street smart.
Like in that kind of contrast.
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying. Like, but I'm just talking about, yeah. Okay, so you got the street smart cat, but he ain't book smart. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to bring it to the level of morality, spiritual. Like, what makes you this leader, this teacher? Right? That's what we're talking about. It's about getting brothers to see, like, damn, I got to embody more than just, oh, I got the breakdown. You know what I mean? So what? You got the breakdown. Yeah, but you got the breakdown, but you're still double-minded. What good is that breakdown for you? But why do you think you're right? Because you got the breakdown. Right? You're so smart that you don't comprehend a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. But you're smart. I don't get it with the smart people. But then so you got some dumb people that think they're smart and they're not smart, right? So the problem is that really how we should guide our mind and our spirit to think based on I got the breakdown, I got this, I know that part of the book, I know this date, right? I know that time period. You know, Quatazat, his memory is like, I'm looking at him like, bro, what? It took me like damn 20 years. Like the stuff he got in, how long he been back? Like 8, 9? I'm like, bro, it took me a long damn time. I have to read and actually meditate. He reads this, he's like, yeah, the date, I'm like, bro, Barakatayahalo. But you know, he got it easy. I had to get it harder. Right? I mean, I still want it though, so you can't take that. If you want it, you want it, right? So that doesn't make us wise. That doesn't make us wise when we got breakdowns. Because at this point in time, brothers and sisters, if you be online, there's Edomites that got breakdowns. What the Pastor Jenkins got breakdown? Is it Jenkins?
Gino Jenkins.
Gino Jenkins? So how do we not be a novice? Go to Ecclesiastes 18 and 19. I know you got a lot. I didn't even went into the scripture. It's 9:16. I know, brother. I know. Go ahead, read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 18 and verse 19.
Go ahead.
Learn before thou speak.
See, the truth is that, like, what are you trying to learn? What are you trying to be like? Brothers and sisters, are we trying to be like the Pharisees? No. Yeah, no, you're saying that, but do you really understand what that means? Are you trying to be like the cats, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and the scribes? Because they were intelligent. Listen, Paul was a Pharisee. Of Pharisees. And look at how he turned out when he locked into the Spirit of the Most High. All right? But think about it. When he was off, come on, y'all. He was so off. He was so convicted in his mind that he was beating the apostles and witnessing their death and cheering it on. That's where knowledge can convict you so much and not actually, like, remember I was saying earlier, her question kind of tacked on what we was going over, right? The Pharisees didn't know that your knowledge ain't even showing you that these people need mercy. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful. The first process is to actually learn. Now, here you go again. You're like, right, I am learning. I got that breakdown. But, okay, here, let's hold that. Go to Proverbs 4 and 7. How about this? So what you know? What is real learning? What is really learning? Right? How could you say you learned something? Right, you recited it? Nah. Read that.
Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7.
Go ahead.
Wisdom is the principal thing.
Okay, so you get wisdom, that's the principle. Or let me stop. Let me rewind. Wisdom is the principal thing, and that's what we forget. The principal thing is wisdom. But what is wisdom? The correct application of knowledge. So I got the knowledge, but what makes me wise? When we use it. So it doesn't matter if you got breakdowns. Because why? Breakdowns are just that, a breakdown. You can recite that. You can go over that. Who did Christ come for? Oh, that's easy. Matthew 1:21, Matthew 18:11, Matthew 15:24, Matthew 10:5-6, right? Isaiah 45:17, Isaiah 44:1. You can recite all that, right? But what does that got to do when it really comes down to the characteristic of being a priest? You see how they're two different things, and if you don't separate it, then what happens? You think, oh yeah, I do learn. I got this breakdown and that breakdown and that breakdown. We're trying to build, I'm trying to remind y'all that it's about morality. It's about integrity. It's about really walking the walk as opposed to doing what the churches did to us. Sitting here, knowing you got the knowledge, but yeah, doing wicked stuff behind the doors. Dressing like a homo behind the doors. You got a thong on the pulpit. You got edible panties on the pulpit. You sleeping with damn packets. And you a dude. That's what we supposed to be avoiding. Well, you're laughing. We're laughing at it. But why could somebody sit on the pulpit and go have sex with somebody else's wife in the congregation? Because all they had to have is what? The knowledge. That's what's, there was no morality based in them. And that's why we left the churches, because we knew all the shenanigans that was going on. And we're like, they're fake, they're phony. This ain't real. Well, what do you think you're doing if you think, oh, I got breakdowns, that gives me the right. I'm on the right track. No, that's not the right track. Wisdom is the principal thing. The principles is wisdom. meaning correctly applying the knowledge. Go ahead.
Therefore, get wisdom.
So you got to get wisdom, which is the correct application of what you know. And like, who really knows how to change oil? No, who really knows how? Who's done it? Right? Who's done it? Who's applied? Who did it over and over and say, yeah, I know how to do that. Right? As opposed to, I know how to change oil.
Right.
I think I know, but I never got under that car and that thing that unlocks the oil and you gotta. I never did that. I know of it. You see, it's a difference between actually doing it and being able to recite it and knowing of it. And that's what we gotta really understand about what is real learning. What are you trying to learn? What are you here to learn? The breakdown? Okay, brothers, when you first come in, I get it. You're a Hebrew Israelite. You know that. You're the chosen people. But the whole point of this ride is to act like the chosen people. That's what this is about. It's to really embody what was Yahweh Shai. And that didn't come through just knowledge. That came through actions of the knowledge. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Drop that, go back. Ecclesiastes 18 and 19, Proverbs 1 and 5, Proverbs 9 and 9.
Ecclesiastes chapter 18 and verse 19.
And my will to get Proverbs 16. Go ahead.
Learn before thou speak.
Do what?
Learn before thou speak.
See, that's what we're supposed to. True learning, man, is being able to apply what you're learning. So now that we're all kind of in the same mind, well, when you judge yourself according to Titus, and you say, dang, where I stand on this. Okay, I'm not a brawler. I'm not trying to fight everybody. I'm not a drunk. As you go through this list, are you saying, dang, okay, I got that down, I got that, but I got this I don't got down. But why am I moving like a guy got it down? Because you figure I got knowledge. So now you shit, I got this down and that down. But we're supposed to constantly stay humble so we won't end up like these kings, right? And thinking we're Mr. Kimo Sabi, and we can do what we want to do. Act how we want to act. Right? Come? Or else there's damnation, y'all. The fact is, it's damnation. You're done with that, all right? Good, jump to the next one.
Proverbs chapter 1 verse 5.
Go ahead.
A wise man will hear.
See? So, once again, we read this a million times. Learning means that you have to what?
Listen.
So, you got the breakdown, but are you really listening? Like, are you listening when we go over these topics? See, that's the thing. It's funny. When it comes to knowledge and breakdowns and what you deem yourself as being pure, is it like a Pharisee and Sadducee? What makes you pure, Why are you pure? Why are you right? Okay, you keep one law, but you break this. Does that make you pure? But for some, it does. Let's be real. For some of us, it does. So you got to ask yourself, damn, what mind state I supposed to be in? What mind state I supposed to be in? Well, Titus, and when Paul was talking to Timothy, he gave it to us. He gave us the answer. Least being the novice, lifted up with what?
Pride.
What's the opposite? That's the key. But there is nobody that is puffed up with knowledge thinking, man, I don't know. Oh, I got that breakdown. I know. And now when we're talking about a subject, you're Mr. Know-it-all. You won't listen. You got to add to it because you think you know. You won't apply it. You won't apply it in your life. You won't apply it with your family and your friends. But because you're Mr. Know-it-all, you will speak. That's what a lot of us that we do, that's way off. And that's why you don't grow. Because the Most High is like, look, I'm not going to put you in that position because you don't really understand. How many more hypocrites we want? How many more hypocrites do you want around you? Right? Do we want to be like the pastors and the preachers? Everybody says that, but think about what deems you as an elder or a leader or a teacher or the head of your house. What deems you when you act like if you figure you're the husband, I'm the head of the house. Well, what deems you the head of the house? Oh, I got more wisdom than my husband. What deems you? Why? Because that comment in itself, you should already knew that's a proud comment. See? So we got to ask ourselves, because if we don't, there's damnation ready for us, waiting for us. We're already damned because our mind is already damned. We're already thinking like, yeah, Con, but who made you a teacher? Right? Well, what makes all of us teachers is the bright process. Go ahead. A what?
A wise man will hear.
Learning is listening. Go ahead.
And will increase learning.
And in learning, right? Learning, let's look the definition up. Watch. Read.
And a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel.
See, and then when you learn and you really understand and you like learning, you're not listening to shenanigans. You're not trying to be around folly. What you got for learning? Read it.
This one says, the acquisition of knowledge or skill through experience, study, or by being taught.
See? So, I'm getting the knowledge, but when you said you learned something, it ain't you're in the process of it. It's you what? You experienced it. And that's what's going to make us these teachers and leaders and not a novice lifted up in pride. You want to go back and forth, but you don't know what you're doing. You don't even know how you're breaking the law or breaking the commandments. Your mind is off track. Your foundation ain't stable. Right? Con? Does that not make sense? There's a process of what it is to be a learned person. Yeah.
I have another definition for knowledge. For learning.
Learning. Go ahead. What you got?
It says, this is Noah Webster, 1828. Says, gaining knowledge by instructions or reading, by study, by experience or observation, acquiring skill by practice.
You see? So how the hell does all that happen when you just sit and you got breakdowns? You just came in. But you see how many of us get puffed up? Because how the internet is created is YouTube is created where you can sit there and learn. And then you literally don't have to do anything that is said in the book. And you already deem yourself what? Wise and know that. And that's what we encounter on the streets. Do we not? You smoking a cigarette. You smelling like cigarettes. You don't know how to wash your clothes, brush your teeth. You don't know how to take care of your hygiene. But you deem yourself wise. You call yourself God, and you want to argue with you on the corner on how, oh yeah, they know. I know I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Well, why are you getting that pack of Newports then? Right? Don't we go through this all the time? What the hell the problem with is with our people? That and the internet destroyed the true process of what it means to be a leader, a teacher, a king.
It took away that definition.
Yeah.
That experience.
Yeah.
Because this, I like when you were talking about with the oil changing. Because you can Google that. For how many times have you went under there and troubleshooted? Oh, the cap don't come off the way it said. What do I do now?
It's warped.
Right? That's when you get the understanding by this warp. Our understanding comes with the ability to what? Recreate what we know. Right? And the internet, like where you got brothers who coming in with less knowledge than, like cause I've been in 30 years and want to now usurp this authority because they say, well, I've read more books than you.
Right.
But you don't have enough experience living
There
this
you
life.
go. There you go. There you go. No, you dropping it. You're dropping it.
But then what happens is Now, because you're so puffed up with what you say, you know, because you might be more scholastic. There's a lot of us who are quick. Son, your man got a photographic memory. I don't know how he remembers it, but he's 17, 18, but does he have the experience applying it?
See, that's when you're gonna see him and these young brothers above the years where Solomon said, I have, what was it? What's that Solomon? David. Yeah, I became wiser than my teachers. Right? When his experience matches it. You know? But for knowledge, our kids are gonna have way more knowledge than we had. Jesus. They're gonna, my son's in the house talking about Yahweh God. He's watching the video and it's already getting in his brain, right? But does he really know how to perform it? Nah, because he hasn't been in the situation, in the battle, right? To actually keep the custom, keep his mind set on the things right, believe, be faithful to what the word says, and then come out the other side and say, the word is true. Then that experience will be able to match the knowledge and he'll be able to say, yeah, I've been through that. Right? What?
This definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Come on, drop it. 932.
God.
Go ahead, you look at that.
I know what that look means. It says learning. It says the acquisition of novel information, behaviors, or abilities after practice, observation,
right,
or other experiences,
right,
as evidenced by change in behavior, knowledge, or brain function.
I love this.
Learning involves consciously or non.
So what if I read? So what if I got a breakdown? What is have I really learned that?
It involves.
No, I have not. Good. Proverbs 99. Good job.
Proverbs chapter 9,
Proverbs
verse
99. Go ahead.
Give instruction to a wise man.
See, what happens and what makes you wise? Do what?
Give instruction to a wise man.
See, this is what makes you wise. When you give instruction, when we look and say, listen, your problem is your hygiene. You got to learn that a Hebrew Israelite, king, prince, right? I mean, God, the church even knows, right?
Cleanness is
Cleanness is next to godliness, brother. How come you being a Hebrew Israelite, you got the Daniel's breakdown. You know that the angels are controlled by Yahweh. You know there's a death afterlife. You know that there's one caught up to the third heaven. But your ass don't know how to brush your teeth, take care of your hygiene, wash your clothes. What the hell does all that third heaven mean? What does it matter if you don't know how to actually put it into action? What is third? So what? Third heaven, yay! You're going to make it there when you die. But here on earth, you need to brush your teeth. You need to change your sheets on your bed. You're 30 years old and you don't know how to your whole, the bed is just black.
Huh?
Right? I don't know if anybody's done. I hope nobody's not doing that in here. I'm just using one crazy ass example. Right? Just think about it. You got to think about this. It doesn't matter the third heaven. It doesn't matter. You know that the snake in the garden wasn't a damn snake. But according to the Bible, it was what? An angel. Right? It doesn't matter. Read it again.
Give instruction to a wise man.
Right?
And he will be yet wiser.
Right?
Teach adjustment, and he will increase in
Okay,
learning.
so what is this telling us? Now that we know the definition of learning, what is it saying here? Come on, somebody drop it quick. What is it saying? Don't have me read it in. Read it one more time. No. What is it saying? Read it one more time.
Give instruction to a wise man.
Right?
And he will be yet wiser.
He will what?
Be yet wiser.
So what is it really saying here, y'all? It's telling us about if you're really learning, then your actions will show. You'll be wiser. Your actions will show. Like a fool can say something wise. The scriptures tell you that. Say something smart, right? But does that mean that, damn, I'm going to follow that guy? He's still a fool. Why? Because he doesn't know how to apply what he's saying. That's what happens when novices get knowledge. We get people that think they know more, but their lifestyle is literally tumbling, folding. They can't deal with brothers. You can't even talk to me, have a conversation. Right? You're still running like you're a teenager. Like, we're grown men. Let's talk. Right? But we don't do that. Why? Because we look at the churches and we try to emulate them more. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? I got the knowledge. I know Jesus Christ is black. You know what I mean? We get these cats on the corner, old fools. We get young fools. And they don't want to be taught. And yes, they haven't read a damn book or a damn page. Hey, like, yeah, when's the last time you read the whole book of Matthew? Oh, no, I didn't read it, but I know. How you know? You still have to. I'm not saying knowledge don't come with wisdom. It's knowledge, wisdom. Like, you don't read nothing, but you know. But you will argue with a novice right out there at the corner that life is falling apart. Why? Because they're puffed up. And that's what this topic is about. That's going to lead a lot of us into condemnation. You got to realize, man, in areas that you are a novice. That doesn't mean everything you're a novice. But in areas, in a lot of important areas, that you're unlearned. And damn, I need to learn those areas. But you will increase, like the last verse, through learning, right? Through counsel, right? It says, teach a just, go ahead, read on.
Teach a just man.
Right?
He will increase in learning.
See, he will, it will do something in his life. Now, look at what we're dealing with. You're like, wait a minute, so if I'm not learning and I'm not applying it, I'm not just? So what's the point of you learning this and you're not applying none of it? You get 50,000 classes on lust, but you can't apply it. Why? Why you can't do it? Now, we've been over that, your will, the desire. We've been over that the last class. But it's because you're not seeing that you really don't know that you got to be under tutors and governors and learn. And you ain't going to teach a black man nothing. You can't tell me. He what? He knows already. I already know that. Especially if you're from New York. Read on. Go from there. Go to Proverbs 16 and 23, my brother. Somebody else give me Galatians 4:1. And then somebody else give me Ecclesiastes 6. Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 21. The wise in heart shall be called prudent.
See? Read it again. 23.
Verse 23.
Go ahead.
The heart of the wise teacheth his mouth.
See, the heart, the mind of the wise teacheth. He teacheth himself. He teach himself. He's going to teach his mouth. Like, you know, I tell y'all about, you know, when I first started teaching, you have those filler words. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm going to start doing it now. Why? Now that I don't say that, I'm going to start doing it as we teach, as I'm talking. You know what I'm saying? No, but my ribs will bring it to my attention. But a wise man will have to teach himself and say, and be humble to say, ugh, that looks nasty. Like every time I talk, I have to have a filler word because I am not articulate enough or my mind is not moving quick enough in the gospel to place the words where they need to be placed in the understanding. And you're like, yeah, I'm saying, now I mean, now I'm saying, now I mean. Now, I would still be doing that, but I love learning. I didn't want to do that. I want to teach the people correctly. So what did I have to do? I had to listen. Now, I'm Mr. Kimo Sabi in the house, right? You know, you out of the spirit right now anyway, telling me this. right? Because that's what route we go, right? You got a spirit, you run your mouth the wrong, or you could do what I did and say, you know what? Let me go back and look at that class that I did. That does sound bad. Every other second. When you're really learning, you're looking at yourself and seeing all these things that you're bad at. It ain't about, bro, I got that breakdown. Yeah, it's gonna come to that, obviously, when you get here and you actually worked on yourself, right? And you're like, okay, for the most part, I got control, like Paul said, right? I'm not a brawler, I'm not drunk, I'm guiding my house, right? And we know there's levels of perfection of that, right? All right, because there's also levels in that, right? You started, I used to drink once a month. Well, now I don't drink at all. I'm like, it's once every blue year and a half or whatever, right? Well, there's levels of it. But at least I know this, I'm not a drunk. I'm not given to the wine where I have to have that liquor to make it through the day. Right? So don't fret and be like, oh damn, are we gonna be perfect? Nah, there's at least the gospel set up to where you are tangibly aware of what these things are of being a king. So if it says I'm not a brawler, and you're just straight out like anybody that says something, knocking them out, bro, you ain't on the podium. You don't need to be on the street, you need to be in class. If you're just like, you're still watching porn, but you got Daniel's breakdown, Revelation's breakdown, and you got the third heaven breakdown, but you're beating off, you need to be in class, huh? Like, it doesn't matter how many breakdowns you got, right? You can't control your body. And therefore, in your house, you can't talk to your rib without backslapping her or like really wanting to choke the hell out of her. Like, oh man, something's just telling me just to choke you right now. And then you're going to get up on the podium? And you ain't got no control. Right? You can't even teach your woman. You got to sit in class. And that's what a lot of us got to come back on and remind ourselves. Damn, you know what? I'm not there yet. I got knowledge. And that's the problem. Knowledge puffeth up. Knowledge puffeth up. But really, what does Christ want me to be? Does he want me to sit here and be a hypocrite? Can't you sit here and be a hypocrite? How do you stomach it? Like, yeah. Then you go teach your rib. You go teach on the street. But you're not doing what you're saying, then you're going to be a hypocrite. You can't stomach that. You got to be able to say, nah, for the most part, I'm aligned with these things, and they don't have control of me. I know how to battle those things of the flesh. And I'm very aware of that. How many are you really vigilant and brothers even aware? Like if we brought something to your topic, I was in the car the other day and I was talking to Aaron about something, and he was like, "Come, you're right." You're right, Al. Now, what makes him not a novice and is going to bring him to the next level as if he works on it. He can acknowledge it, we can see it, but what makes us really wise men? Be doers of the word and not hearers only. So, other than that, you're going to go out in the street and look how you're going to act towards people in the street. A novice, what? I know everything. I can go here, I can go here, I can go here. Then when you go back home, you don't apply none of it. That's crazy as hell. How do you feel when you do that? Just think about it. How would you feel when you do that? You should feel like crap because you're literally talking against the churches and being what you supposedly dislike. A fraud. A fraud. Read that. Where you at?
Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 23.
Okay, you read that, right? Go to Galatians 4 and 2. 4, 1 and 2.
Galatians chapter 4, verse 1.
Ecclesiastes 6, and then Ecclesiastes 51. Go ahead.
Now I say.
Yeah, I'm saying? Go ahead.
Now I say
Uh-huh.
that the air.
Where are you at?
Galatians chapter 4, verse 1.
Right. Galatians 4 and 1. Go ahead.
Now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, deferreth nothing from a servant.
See, how many of us feel that way? That, man, you came into the Wing Chun class. Did you go into the Wing Chun class with this guy and says, man, Ariella taught me. I know some things. Or did you go in there, and what's the teacher's name?
Blake.
Yeah, Teacher Blake. Did you go in there and be like, listen, Blake, and try to throw him on the ground? Because you're 6'2", REI, 400-pound REI. You know what I mean? And he went in and be like, listen, Ariella taught me. It just, no, he had to go in there and be like, what?
I don't know nothing.
But thank you, I'm a novice. I'm a rookie. Right? Because if not, you're literally going to be a hypocritical man. You're going to be the Pharisee. Go ahead. Or woman, because we're talking about the sisters too tonight, right? That don't know how to organize their house, don't know how to cook a damn meal, don't know how to deal with their kids, don't know how to take out the trash, right? Everything's in array, but you want to combat and go back and forth with somebody instead of doing what the scripture said, ready to learn. Go ahead.
Though he be Lord of all.
Right?
But it's under tutors.
And you brothers and sisters, the Most High said the kingdom is yours. You're already kings and priests. But what happened to the 7-year-old king? The 13-year-old king when we read in the scriptures? Remember the one they hid? Who was it, Hezekiah? Jariah? Was it Joash? Yeah.
He was 6 years old.
Yeah, right. They hit him, right? Come, look at that. He wasn't like, yeah, let him rule. He's 6. Nah, man, we got to be under tutors and governors to the time appointed. Joash wasn't running nothing until he was conscious, right? And what happened to Joash? See, you got to get your memory back. We got to go back over there, right? Go ahead. Come on, read.
But it's under tutors and governors until the time appointed of the Father.
And that's what we got to remind ourselves. Oh, I got to learn. But the problem is this. Go to Ecclesiastes 6 and 18.
Ecclesiastes 6 and verse 18.
Go ahead.
My son, gather instruction from thy youth up.
Are you trying to gather? Or do you think you already know? Are you like, man, let me learn the way the scriptures. This is going to tell you how to be under tutors and governors. This is going to tell you how to learn, y'all. Go ahead.
So shalt thou find wisdom till thine old age.
Right, you got to start now. You got to start gathering wisdom now. You got to know what is good wisdom and what is not. But the only way you're going to do that is being in the book. Go ahead.
Verse 19.
Go ahead.
Come unto her as one that ploweth and...
How many of y'all see that it's a work? Now look, remember, don't get this misconstrued with knowledge. If you want to be wise, what do you have to do? You have to work. You have to shut down the flesh. You have to shut down your way. You got to be ready to follow and be led. You got to be ready to hear and listen where you're wrong. Right. And then know that you don't know and then move forward. Right? Study. Get in the book. Apply it. Go ahead.
And wait for her good fruits.
Right. A lot of us ain't going to be able to see the fruits of what wisdom is because you're not trying to learn, listen, hear, be led. You don't even know the fruits of it. That's why a lot of you stay in the same place. See, a novice lifted up in pride, they're not going to move forward anymore. You pull the scripture in the beginning. There's one that teacheth many. You'll go out there and you'll what? You'll preach the word. But yeah, you got precepts. You'll go tip. You'll wake somebody up. But how many of y'all got woken up by somebody and they ain't in the truth? Right? Khan, Shalamiah, Jeremiah, right? Jeremiah gave you the knowledge. Who, the person that gave you the knowledge is not following it no more? You see that? Yeah, just think about that. And it's more and more, bro. The other day I was just realizing how long we've been going to the summit. When they put the music on, the Hebrew, what is it? Was it? Hebrews a country?
The song?
Yeah, the song. So they put that on, and my son was like, Dad, you're in there, you're in there. And I said, damn, how long ago was that? 8, and that's what I'm saying, almost 10 years ago. And listen, this is not a shot. This is to show you reality. You know how many of those brothers that were dealing with House of David are no longer dealing with, I'm talking about not dealing with the Bible at all. Not like, I'm talking about not dealing with any camps, not the Bible at all. They're like, you know what, I'm done with that. It's crazy. And that's 10 years. So, you know why? Because with Israelites, it's all about a fad. A lot of us is about, you know what? I didn't grow up with a brother or sister, and I love the camaraderie. And that's good, the brotherhood. How good and how pleasant for brothers to dwell together in unity. But you cannot do everything based on that. It's got to be based on you rooted in what Yahweh Shai called you for. And a lot of times, brothers don't wake up to what they were called for. That's why you're just in oblivion. You're just here. You don't want to be that. You've been called. Once again, not by me. The Most High called you, right, out of darkness to light to do His work. Why haven't you learned that yet? You see, like brothers and sisters got to wake up. It's the last days. We're trying to spark your brain in some way. And I know it's going to go in out one ear out the other with some of you. But hopefully some of y'all understand that being a novice lifted up in pride is a danger. You're going to destroy yourself. You're playing with Pandora's box. Y'all got to continually want to listen and hear. Go ahead.
For thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her.
See, what the Bible is showing us is that it's going to take work. Toil. Work. Right? You guys like skateboarding? It takes work. Busting those knees up, breaking those ankles, even sometimes busting your nuts. You see that all the time. They do an ollie on top of a something, and then what? Land right up. Oh, yeah, you trying to grind some, and then boom, you grinding those nuts. Seriously, it takes work. And guess what? Which one of them? I mean, some of them wear a cup, but some of them just be like, nah, I'm gonna do it again. Yeah, I can take those kicks to the nuts. I'm young. Right? But that's how the truth is. Are you ready to toil? Are you ready to work and grind and then go through the battle and get right back up? That's what this learning is. And you know what that learning process is? Making the mistake, being corrected, executing the information that the gospel has given us to get better next time, so you won't say, that's a fool right there. Where is he at? Why is he a fool? Because he's been given so much. The Bible said it's like pouring water into a broken cup, a broken cistern. You don't want to be that. Because Christ, at the end of the day, when salvation comes, he's going to say, okay, thou wicked and slothful servant, what did you do? Oh, you was beating off the whole time, all those classes? The Spirit never got in you? It never got in you. Why? Oh, because you were stubborn. You were hard-headed. You were rebellious. You were a novice thinking that what? I do the Sabbath so I can sin everywhere else. You guys got, yeah, brothers and sisters got to really understand what days we're in. Go ahead, read on.
But thou shalt eat of her fruits right again.
And that's what you got to ask yourself, where the fruits at? Where the fruits? Where the fruit of your works? When we watch it, we're like, where's your production? Because I know we're watering. Where's the production? Where's the fruit of your doing? But you got to examine yourself. We're just reminding you, the only way you're going to examine yourself is the opposite of being this novice lifted up in pride. Staying humble and saying, damn, I got to keep knowing, I got to keep fixing, I got to keep washing, baptizing myself, purging myself. He said he will be the third through fire. Well, damn, am I going through the fire? I mean, you even know that. Like you're going through the fire. Oh, no, that's easier than me. It ain't no fire because why? You ain't working on yourself. You ain't working on yourself. That's why it's so damn easy. And then when somebody tell you something, you do the nod. Yeah, well, maybe. Maybe you see it that way. Go ahead.
She is very unpleasant to the unlearned.
Right? Okay, so what are the keys here? That a cat that doesn't want to learn what? You don't want to hear. It's unpleasant. The correction ain't time. Yeah, that's just the way you feel, Con. Yeah, it's unpleasant to you. You know, it could be verse for verse. This is what, yeah, bro, this is what you're doing. I don't feel I'm doing that. Okay, all right. The witnesses are alive then, I guess. Everybody sees it, but except you. But that's that novice lifted up in pride to where they're not going to recognize and bear witness to what they're doing. Go ahead.
He that is without understanding will not remain with her.
See, and then in the end, we got to sit back and say, okay, we're going to let you do it your way. And your wisdom, what? Your knees, your legs will be straightened. You'll fall on your face. And it shouldn't have to be that. It shouldn't have to be that. Read on.
She will lie upon him as a mighty stone of trial.
Right. You see, a lot of people, the truth becomes more burdensome because you're not willing to learn. You're at odds because you think you know. I know that. I know all of that. You're at odds. So the truth becomes a what? It becomes a burden. It becomes a weight on you. It's like, man, I thought it was gonna be different. Go ahead.
And he will cast her from him ere it be long.
And eventually you will what? You will throw the truth away. You will treat it like it's nothing. Why? Because your pride held you back from the things that you ought to know. Not what you think you know, what you ought to know. Everybody knows what they know, but what you ought to know, a lot of times you don't want to know that. You don't want to come to face with that. What verse you at?
Verse 22.
Go ahead.
For wisdom is according to her name.
Go ahead.
And she is not manifest unto
many. She's not manifest to many. She's not like, remember, what are we talking about? When we read wisdom, we're just looking at a word. No, you literally can hear words of the gospel and you won't be wise or you won't apply them. It won't make sense to you. That's why you're not productive what you're getting. The only thing that is enthusiastic is what? Third heaven. The spirit inside of the spirit. Right? Can we get that's why do you think a lot of Israelites like that more? Why do you think a debate will get more attention? Even the boys from the Sons of David, Sons of Thunder, were like, man, y'all, I caught them saying that. They're like, y'all love the street speaking, but we in class, there's like 5 people online. Why? Because they can get 100,000 views on the damn street speaking. But when it comes to real topics, our people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear work on your spirit out. Don't be a hypocrite. Don't be like the people you're pointing your finger at. See? So we got to remind ourselves that novice with pride is a danger, man. It's 10 o'clock. Read on.
Give ear, my son.
Right.
Receive my advice.
Go ahead.
And refuse not my counsel.
So you can't refuse. You can't shut down your mind from listening and adhering. You can't shut down your mind from saying, oh, wait a minute. I gotta learn. I don't know. Right? You can't shut your mind down from opening up. Go ahead.
And put thy feet into her fetters.
Fetters means chains. A lot of times this truth is gonna feel like what? Like, okay, this ain't a revelation. This is like easy. You're gonna feel imprisoned in the truth. Because it does shackle you. It does imprison you.
Prisoners for Christ's sake.
Huh?
Prisoners for Christ's sake.
Prisoners what?
For Christ's sake.
For Christ's sake. Like a lot of cats ain't understanding. They can't come. Listen, it sounds good. You know, a t-shirt, prisoner for Christ. I got the t-shirt. Until what?
The application.
No, until somebody is reminding you what you're in prison to, and it's coming from a man or a woman. And then you don't like how the man or woman reminded you that you're a prisoner. Sometimes you can't juggle it right. You're like, hey, bruh, you're just a man. You're just a man. Yeah.
Because I'm looking at the synonyms, like, nobody likes to feel your job as a man to be called a rookie. They use that derogatory, right?
Yeah.
Looking at, these are synonyms for novice. Nobody want to be called a rookie. They got freshmen, they got trainee. But we all, that's a part of life. That's the process with anything. You have to.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But if you're that new guy, everybody see the new guy coming to the job and he thinks he knows more than the senior guy? Like, how? You haven't experienced the job long enough. How could you now try to teach somebody who's been here longer than you've been alive?
Right. That's why I try to remind Arya, Manatazak, Mawala, the ones that are conscious that they're not like they're bigger than the small ones, but that this spirit of I want to talk over you when you're saying something. Like I had to check them one time in the kitchen. Like everybody's trying to no, that's not what it is. It's like y'all are doing that too much. Everybody wants to be a smart ass instead of who really wants to listen and learn. You know what I mean? And that's it, bruh. That's school changes your mind because you don't want to be the dummy. So you just gotta say something, right? It don't have to be wisdom. It's just you gotta rebuttal, right? Because that's how they're gonna make you feel. But you bring that to the truth, and then you look, now we're looking at you like, oh damn, bro. I had to tell two of them, I said, listen, Manatazak was telling Arya about chess. And he was like, no, the way he was saying it was out of order. So I said, look, Manatazak, you got it right. You might have this right, but the way you're bringing it out is disrespectful to your brother. I said, then the brother, I said, Arya, you're supposed to say, okay, let us check it on Google. But the problem is that all these things are, that's how the world teaches us. It teaches us we can't learn. I'm willing to learn still. The older you get, the more you're like, damn, okay. Yeah, but fret not, I'm willing to learn from who my teachers are. You know what I mean? I'm not going to just go to some rando and no. I know brothers that have been around 40 years that I can go to and learn. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying, hey, yeah, learn everything and just be your head in the wind. No, I'm saying that I'm ready to hear. You know what I mean? Now, if somebody comes to us on the street speaking and they dealing with us and they're like talking to us, I'm listening still. I don't want to come off like I'm Mr. Know-it-all.
Right.
I don't want to come off like maybe I do got 50 scriptures ready to dice this person up. But what are we going to exemplify? Right? What are we going to show? The Most High, right? What is the next man going to show each other? You know, and I'm not saying he wasn't going to get chopped up. He might, yeah, brother, we get you. But let us take you down this road, right? It's all how we deliver it. We got to be willing to learn. Somebody can come up, bro, they can be dirty, and let me bring it back to that. They can be dirty, they can be nasty, and they can say something wise. I quoted it earlier, a fool can say something wise. You might be like, okay, yeah, that's true. But just because what came out of their mouth is true, that don't mean that they know how to perform it, live it, be it. And that's what the point of this is for us to learn to be able to, so say ye, so do ye. That's what we want to be. That's what Christ is going to say, man, these are the 144,000. That's the ones that are going to be the examples. All right, go ahead, read on.
Thy neck into her chain.
Right?
Bow down thy shoulder.
It takes you bowing. It takes you doing, how many of y'all will bow? I ain't bowing no man. See, there you go. You trying to complicate things. Nobody's saying you gotta bow. What we're saying is, are you ready to hear? You know what I mean? Well, you're a man, I'm a man too. That's funny because you don't act like a man. But I'll let that one slide. We don't want to hear that shit. We don't want to hear that. You act like a boy. You act like a kid. You don't even know the basis of communications. You don't even know that, but I'm not going to say that. That's going to hurt your feelings. But this is what we don't understand. But like the truth. Man, that's why when we were talking yesterday with Ice, I'm like, you know what's so crazy, man, is that I'll never forget, I'll never take for granted how I came up. Because nowadays you can't tell a person straight up because they're another way or they're taking personal. You see? So yeah, we gotta be strategic, right? He that is wise when it sows. It takes you what? Bowing, humbly. Go ahead.
And bear her, and be not grieved with her bonds.
How many of us are grieved with studying? Okay, how about this? How many of you still fall asleep in class? I'm not talking to a new person, because he's got a battle. The battle is that once his mind lock in, it's gonna all make sense, right? But how many of y'all been here and you're still what? You're mentally not engaged. You see, it's a burden. You got to put your mind in it, right? Or you what? 6 hours of Saturday morning class, you'll lose focus. Where are we at? What is this about? What the hell did we go over? You got to be there, right? That's how we gonna get wisdom. That's how we get learning, right? That's how we get understanding, being engaged with each other, right? Go ahead. Come on, hurry up.
Come unto her with thine whole heart, and keep her ways with all thy power.
What?
This is the last definition of learning.
Oh, the last definition? Go ahead.
On learning and what you said. It says, learning involves consciously and non-consciously attending to relevant aspects of incoming information.
Right.
Mentally organizing the information into a coherent cognitive representation.
That's two ways. The teacher has to be cognitive of what he's saying, and he has to be able to orientate where people can understand what is being said. And, yeah, and he got to be coherent, and then the individuals that are listening, receiving the knowledge, they got to be aware, coherent, that 2 hours, they got to focus. So, yeah, that's right on point. Go ahead, finish, Marlo.
Search and seek.
What?
Search and seek.
What? The many of books or the gospel? Which one is it?
The gospel.
Seek ye out of the book of the what?
The Lord.
Right, read.
And she shall be made known unto thee.
Right, she is wisdom. Go ahead.
And when thou hast got hold of her,
Right.
let her not go.
So there's a process of learning. Like everybody want to be wise, but wisdom is the correct application. You doing it. So how many of you are achieving? How many of you are growing with the school? Let's get real down to this. Let's really talk. How many of you, since you came here, you're growing? Not in knowledge, in wisdom. You sound like you're stupid. How many? Raise your hand.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't feel you're growing, Delvon?
Growing?
Yeah, do you feel you're growing? What is it that you're missing? Because you didn't raise your hand.
Oh, well, growing in the sense of, you talking about like spirituality?
Talking about spirituality.
I mean, I'm not seeing where else I could like grow. As far as, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm not
Right.
saying like I don't see where I'm terrible at. Or,
Right. Now,
That's right.
check this out. How do you, gospel-wise, how do you end up seeing that?
guess you will let your neighbor search you out.
That's exactly it. You let your neighbor search you out. So if you want to get to that level, all you got to do is ask. You see what I'm saying? Because once you ask, trust me, you'll be told. Because think about it. Are you perfect? Okay, then you got to step into where your neighbor searches you out. And then you will grow. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. Aish. We're literally, okay.
We were just kind of chilling.
Okay, all right. Because we're closing out now. Unless you want to say something.
Shalom.
All right. Okay. All right. So, because it is 10:13, you know the deal. We can keep going with this. I just wanted to say that think about it. The environment you in, if you don't think about that, then like just right now, that conversation in itself, we're saying, okay, then what do we need to do? Well, I know what we need to do. There's a level where you're at, right? The white belt. Okay, you want to get to the next belt, well then it's the next step. So if you're saying, well, I already got all that down on the white belt. Okay then, well, are you ready for the next belt? Well, the next belt, it goes through you being searched and saying, okay, yeah, you got this down, but this is what you don't got down. Your communication's bad. Well, what do I got to communicate? Well, you're a soldier, right? The Most High called you a soldier, right? Well, it's time for you to step into your soldiership. Well, what do I gotta do for that? Oh, you gotta put your school aside and be a priest. See, we can get into those real conversations. You know what I mean? That doesn't say you quit your stuff, but it's saying that something has to be said. You see? So when you want those conversations, all you gotta do is ask. Because the point is to bring you to the next stage. It's not just to sit at a white belt. Why y'all think we're constantly what? Reminding brothers to do what? Step up to the next level. But like I told Aharon, I'm not going to step up to Aharon and force the next level on him when he don't want it. That's not good either. You know what I mean? The Most High said a willing heart, a willing mind. So, and I'm saying that to put things in perspective. If you want the next level, you can't say, well, I'm here, I don't see where I need to get. Well, we do. We're not oblivious. We see where you can get. So it ain't that it's not there, it's that do you want to get to that next level? That makes sense? Yeah, but that's it. That's it. We can keep going and going. Y'all know the deal. I didn't finish a whole portion, but it's 10. Does anybody got any questions? And we have anything online? La? Nothing online? All right, remember, it is the Shabbat. Let's keep that in mind. Keep the foolery, the shenanigans. Brothers and sisters gotta remember this day, man. Let's keep focused on the Most High. We are not live. That Rochester's gonna be taking that over. I mean, y'all should know that by now. Tomorrow morning, they're gonna take it over for the next 6 months. Other than that, we look forward to seeing y'all. Say shalom to everybody. Am I? Shalom. And anything